You know, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just talk. And today we're diving into a movement that's built on that very idea, a movement called DeFeat Cancer. It's all about breaking the silence around prostate cancer, and it's powered by this amazing group of survivors. The core idea? It's simple, but it saves lives. It all starts with a conversation.
All right, I want to start with a number. And this number, it should give everyone a ton of hope. 99%. Think about that. That's the percentage of prostate cancer cases that are treatable. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch, it's only 99% treatable if you catch it early. And that right there, that single fact, is why this conversation is so incredibly urgent.
Okay, so why is a movement like DeFeat Cancer so desperately needed? Well, to really get it, we have to look at the sheer scale of the problem. We're not just talking about a disease, we're talking about a silent epidemic. It's affecting hundreds of thousands of men right here in the US every single year.
Now look at this number, 313,781. It's a massive, really specific figure, isn't it? But it's not just a number. Behind it are hundreds of thousands of real people, individual stories, families, lives.
So what is that number? That's the estimated number of men who are going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the US this year, in just 1 year. That's, well, it's more than 250,000 men hearing that news. Suddenly that huge number feels a lot more human, doesn't it? In this chart, this really puts the full picture into perspective. You see the new diagnoses, that huge number we just talked about. But then you see this other number, nearly 36,000 deaths. That's a lot of lives lost. You know, this is actually the most common cancer in men, if you don't count skin cancer. And that stark difference between diagnoses and death, it tells you exactly where the fight is. It's all about early detection.
So, we've been talking big numbers, right? A national scale. But now let's bring it right down to you. Because let's be real, understanding the big picture is one thing, but knowing your own personal risk, that's what makes you act. That's where your voice becomes so incredibly powerful.
So, what should you be looking out for? Knowing the key risk factors is absolutely crucial. Age, that's a big one for sure. But then there's family history. And get this, if your father or your brother had prostate cancer, your own risk more than doubles. Just like that. And on top of that, things like your race and genetics play a really significant role too. And when we talk about race, this disparity is it's staggering. Look at this. Black men are 1.7 times more likely to even be diagnosed. But what's even more alarming is the death rate. It's more than double, 2.1 times higher than for white men. These are not just numbers on a chart. This is a massive call to action. We need more awareness, more support, especially in the communities that are at the highest risk.
And all of this, all these risks, these numbers, it brings us right back to the solution. It's this simple but incredibly powerful phrase that is the engine behind the whole DeFeat Cancer movement. Your voice saves lives. Because breaking that stigma, the silence that so often surrounds men's health, it's not just a nice idea, it's a fundamental act of survival.
So, okay, the problem is huge, we get that. So where's the hope? Where does it come from? Well, it comes from this exact movement we're talking about, DeFeat Cancer. And it's led by this incredible organization made up of survivors. These guys are turning the tide, and they're doing it by building a community where nobody has to face this fight on their own. The group behind the movement is called ACCCOLPH. They're a nonprofit, and their mission is so clear and so powerful: to empower every single person affected by this disease. And how do they do it? Through education, through advocacy, and through incredible support. They're uniting men, their families, and whole communities with one shared goal: to defeat cancer.
But what really makes them different? What's their secret sauce? It's who built it. This organization wasn't dreamed up in some corporate boardroom. Nope. It was built from the ground up by seasoned prostate cancer survivors. I mean, these are people who have walked this tough road themselves. They get it. They understand the fear, the challenges, the absolute need for community. And that personal experience, that's their superpower.
And they've been at this for a while. Their journey kicked off way back in 2012. So for more than a decade now, they've been totally committed to this cause. They've grown from this core idea into the leaders of a nationwide movement. And that history, that timeline, it just shows you how deep their dedication to saving lives really is.
So what's their game plan? How do they actually do all this? Well, their approach is built on 3 main pillars. First up, educational resources, giving people clear info to raise awareness about screening and treatment. Second, survivor support groups,
This is huge. Creating communities led by people who've been there. And third, community events. Getting out there, engaging the public, and just smashing the stigma around men's health.
And that brings us to, honestly, the most important part of this whole thing, you. Seriously, a movement is just an idea without people. ACCOLPH has built this incredible platform, and now we're going to talk about how you can join the mission to defeat cancer.
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to a choice, a really clear choice. On one side, you've got silence, and that leads to stigma, to isolation, and to the very real danger of detecting cancer too late. But on the other side, you have speaking up, talking to your doctor, your family, your friends, and that opens the door to hope, to community, and to the early detection that we know saves lives.
So what can you do, like right now? It really comes down to 3 simple but super powerful steps. Number 1, schedule your screening. If you're at risk, make the call. It often just starts with a conversation and a simple blood test. The thing is, prostate cancer doesn't wait, so you shouldn't either. Number 2, share your story. Believe me, every single story matters. And number 3, get involved. Jump into the movement directly.
And getting involved is actually really easy. You can donate to the mission, you can volunteer your time, you can even organize an event in your own neighborhood. And for anyone who wants to contribute, like right this second, you can just text the code 808396 to the number you see right here. Look, every little bit helps. Every action, no matter how big or small, truly makes a difference.
And in the end, it all comes back to where we started. Change, real change. It begins with a single conversation. Just one. A conversation that can turn fear into hope, a conversation that turns information into real power. The conversation to defeat cancer, it starts now. So the only question left is, will you join it?